Hello, my name is Jeff Postell, Assistant Principal at Buckingham Elementary. Today, I'll be reading pages 275 to pages 292. Remember, 17 years since resilience went offline. The rush of information comes all at once. Pieces fly at high speeds all around me. I am remembering. Remembering is the opposite of blackness. As I take everything in, I scan my surroundings and I find the hazy outline, Xander's face. Slowly, it comes into focus. Xander! I remember Xander's face. His face from before. This face is different, but it is Xander. There is no hazmat. His skin more weathered now, textured with age, but his smile is the same. Welcome back, buddy, Xander says. You did it. I did it. Information. I am flooded with sounds and images. I am flooded with knowledge. I am flooded with remembering. It turns out my system is not blank. My system remembers. I remember everything. Rania. Rania is not in the lab. I keep searching and scanning for her presence. I listen in as Xander and other hazmats talk around me, checking my system, running tests. But I do not hear the name Rania. Where's Rania? I say, but the hazmats do not answer. Things I say to an empty room because I cannot say them to Rania. I hope I made you proud, I say to the empty laboratory when Xander leaves. I hope you think I did a good job, I say. Where are you? More information. I do not get the answers to my questions about Rania, but there are other things to learn. I learned that the rock samples I brought back have advanced human understanding of Mars. We know for sure now that Mars had water, Xander says. Your rock samples contain frozen ancient salt water. It is possible that somewhere on Mars, this salt water still exists and could even be sustaining microbial life. And we understand so much more about the radiation in the atmosphere, Xander continues, which is a huge step forward for figuring out how someday we might send a human being to Mars. I had almost forgotten that humans can modulate their voices to express the emotions they are feeling. In Xander's voice, I hear his pride and excitement. I also hear gratitude. I hope wherever Rania is, that she is proud and excited too. Was Rania happy with the mission? I ask. Xander, of course, does not answer my question. But he tells me more about what exactly was found in the samples I collected. I want to ask if it was that simple. The sample that made me fall, that was the most worthwhile one. But he does not say. I am left wondering about it. Things to wonder about. There are a lot of things I'm left wondering about. Rania, namely, and Fly. Where he is and if he's okay. But I cannot talk to the hazmats who no longer wear hazmats. They do not understand me the way Fly did, the way Guardian did, the way that Journey did. I am unquestionably happy to hear from Xander. I am so glad when he talks directly to me and I am able to learn about the overall success of my mission. But I wish there was someone who would understand, really understand, when I say, we did it. I returned to Earth. Understand. I do know how long it is before I am moved to the new space. It is difficult for me to keep track of time back in the laboratory. I no longer have my time log, and there is no reddish sky with a bright spot of sun. There is no dark night with a sky splattered with stars. There are no jagged tops of distant mountains or smooth sand dunes rippled with wind. There are only white walls, recycled and purified air, the hum of machinery of the building. Before I was moved, I tried to talk to those machines. I could hear them working, but they did not respond when I tried to communicate. But when I moved, I finally find someone that can understand me. When I am moved, I finally find someone that can understand me. Well, beep and bops. Look, it's you. I feel the human emotion of excitement rise up inside of me, but I try to hide it. Because it's Journey. It's really Journey. Hi, Journey, I said. I would say I missed you, but that wouldn't be very robotic of me. I did miss you, I admit. Tell me about Mars. There is a lot to tell. We have time, Journey says. I thought you thought that time was a human concept. So, Journey says, whatever it is, we have lots of it. Okay, I say, and I tell Journey everything. New home. My new home is what hazmats call a museum. Journey and I are both on what the hazmats call display. We rest on large podiums. There are screens all around us. Sometimes the screens play images of my journey to Mars. Sometimes the screen plays images of the construction and design of Journey and me. Sometimes the screens are off. I wonder where hazmats come up with their words for things. I say, podiums, museums, there are so many words. Yes, the hazmats never seem to run out of words. You should stop calling them hazmats. They don't wear hazmats here. I know. Is there a difference? Is it different here than in the lab? The humans don't expect anything of us. They just celebrate us, what we did, or what you did. Since you were the one who got to go, Journey says. I have told Journey everything there is to tell about Mars. I have told her about the dust, the glittering, glowing sand, about the sky that changed colors, about the stars and the faint white dot of Earth, about the strange whistling noise, about the mesa with the tunnel-like opening. I have told her about the blankness of Courage's system and how I failed to bring them back online. I have told Journey about Guardian. Lastly, I have told her about Fly. Fly is the hardest thing to talk about. I did not want to talk about it, but I knew I had to. The hardest thing. Fly did not return to Earth. I will never get a chance to speak with Fly again. This is information I have slowly processed. It is the information that I now know, but understanding is different than knowing. No matter how many calculations I do, I cannot make sense of the fact that Fly is gone. What does it mean to be gone? Is there only blackness? Or has he arrived at a new type of knowledge? I have heard hazmats talk about their hearts. I know that I do not have this part of my body. But when I heard the news about Fly, I felt like I did. Because there was a breaking deep down inside of me. Fly is not forgotten, Journey says. One day, she draws my attention to one of the large screens that play footage taken from my mission. Recordings from the laboratory when Journey and I were still in testing. Footage of the command desk anxiously waiting on news of my landing, and recordings I took on my camera while on Mars. That day, the large screens are filled with an image of Fly in flight. When I see that image, my system fills with something too. Something I am not sure I have a word for. It is something big and sad, but also happy. Perhaps the word I'm searching for is love. That hazmat emotion I have never fully understood. Maybe I understand it now. I look back at the large screens. He should be celebrated, I tell Journey. He was my teammate. He was the reason why I was able to collect those samples and beeps and boops, Journey said. You've said that already. Zappity zip. I can't say it enough. Zappity zip. It is a phrase I created, a phrase for Mars, because you got to go to Mars. Yes. Well, no need to keep bragging, as the humans say about it, Journey says. Zappity zip, okay. But I'm never going to stop bragging about Fly. He was my friend. I watched the stream. I watched Fly over Mars' dusty and craggy ground. I watched him fly over the glossy, smooth sand dunes. And I remember everything. There isn't one single blank. My days. My days are spent with visitors, mostly small humans who race through the museum. Occasionally, they squeal with excitement when they point at me and Journey. Other times, they stare at tiny screens and let out sounds of boredom from their mouths. From this experience with small humans, I have learned what a 6th grader is. I think Fly would have been fascinated by this. He also deeply wanted to know what a 6th grader was. I figured it out, Fly, I pretend to tell him. I really figured it out. Fly loved pretending. Today, many 6th graders are coming to visit the museum. It's going to be noisy, Journey says. Small humans are always noisy. They aren't so small. They are smaller than humans who work at the lab. Journey is right. Journey still is right most of the time. But I no longer find this fact to be annoying. Xander is leading the tour. He does not always lead the tours, but I feel like when he does, he tells jokes that make the small humans laugh. And I can hear the pride in his voice when he tells the 6th graders about my mission, about our mission. I can especially hear the pride in his voice when he talks about Rania. He talks about Rania a lot. He makes sure to point out all the places in the room where the small humans can learn more about her and her contributions to the mission. I still do not know where Rania is. Xander finishes his main speech, and the 6th graders begin to wander around the room. A girl approaches my podium. She stares up at me. You've been to Mars, she says. Yes, I say, even though she can't hear me. I want to go to Mars, the girl says. Xander hears the small human talking to me and comes over. Maybe someday you will go to Mars, Xander tells the girl. What Resilience discovered on his mission has laid the groundwork for us to continue imagining what it might look like for humans to land on Mars. That is so cool, the girl says. She keeps staring at me and wrinkles up her nose. Noses are a funny human feature. I have been able to observe much better now that I interact with humans who do not wear hazmat suits. What's that sound? The girl says. The speakers in the room have begun to play one of my recordings from Mars. That's my sound, I say, the strange whistling noise. The girl, of course, does not hear me. She waits for Xander's response. Oh, Xander says, that is a recording Resilience took on Mars. We believe it is the wind, but the tonal quality of it is different from other recordings we have of Martian wind. We think it might have to do with the fact that Mars's atmosphere is so thin. We're hoping that maybe if we learn more about that sound, we will understand more about the atmospheric conditions and climate. But the short answer is, we don't truly know what that recording is. It's still a mystery, but we are hoping to solve it by investigating it further on other missions. The girl tilts her head up to look at Xander. There's still a lot of things you don't know, huh? Yes, Xander says, but that's what's exciting. There's so much potential for new discoveries. The girl stares at me again, then eventually rejoins the other small humans. They gather together to watch footage from my mission. I watch as they open their mouths in surprise and wonder as they see me moving along the surface of Mars. and I am filled with surprise and wonder watching them. The video recording announces the Rover Resilience brought home many important discoveries that we have moved our understanding of Mars forward. But the planet still holds many mysteries yet to be solved. The screen changes to a photograph I took of the night sky. The stars look incredibly bright. Staring at that photo, I feel almost like I am back on Mars, that I am both big and small, important and insignificant, a dot on a long and continuous timeline. I stare at the image on my screen. I think of fly. Wow, I say, wow. Special visitor. One morning, the museum closes down for a day. No small humans or visitors of any kind are let in. The humans, who no longer wear hazmats, dart around the room. They whisper to one another in excited tones. When Xander walks by, he says, "Rest, buddy, a very special visitor is coming in tonight." He does not tell me who that visitor is. Later that night, the room becomes crowded with humans. I am not sure which one is the special visitor. The speakers play music instead of recordings from Mars. "This is a nice song," I say to Journey. "Beeps and boops," Journey says. "Admit it, it's a nice song." You are still a strange rover. I have lost track of where Xander is in the crowd, so I am taken by surprise when I see him walking toward me. He is trailed by two. I hear her voice before I see her, clear and crisp, exactly like her code. "Here he is," Xander says. "Resilience?" Rania says. "Rania," I say. "She is here. She is not gone." I have never seen Rania before, not in her hazmat suit. Tonight, her hair that was once all brown and black pigments is gray and short. Her face is weathered by time, but her eyes, those knowing eyes, are exactly the same. Rania stares at me for a long time. She does not say anything. The sounds of the room echo around us. Human footsteps, human laughs, the music on the speakers. I use my camera to zoom in on her eyes. I see the look I wanted so badly to see when I was on Mars. The look that is both soft and sharp. "I did it," I say. "I really did it. I made you proud." She keeps staring. The look does not fade. Her lips twitch into the same slight smile that I remember seeing all those years ago. "Thank you, Rez," she finally says. The moment is interrupted by another human. She comes up to Rania's side. She leans against Rania, resting her head on her shoulder. "Look at him," the human says. "He's here." "I know," Rania says. She reaches out to squeeze this human's hand. They stand together for a while, and then Xander returns. "So, do you like being the big new job?" he asked Rania. "Do you like the big new job?" he asked Rania. "Well, yes, but I do miss hearing about the checkers tree." Xander laughs. "Chestnut, come on." "Oh, speaking of which, let me tell you another joke. It's a good one, I promise." Rania groans, but there's a smile on her face. As Xander and Rania talk, the human who was beside Rania steps closer to me. She bends down a little so that she can look right at my front camera. I am impressed that she seems to understand my physical structure so well. "Hello, Raz. I'm Sophie. I met you when I was a little girl." I stare at her through my camera. I zoom in on her eyes. Those eyes. I know those eyes. Rania's. This is Rania's daughter. She has changed. In the way that I have learned that all humans change as they get older. But still, I recognize her. "Hello, love bug," I say. "Twinkle, twinkle," I add for fly. "You made it home," she says. Home? Home is a hazmat word that I have heard before. It is a word that I am not sure I understand the full meaning of, but that is okay. I was built to learn. I made it home. I repeat,